Own a $100 stock that pays a $3 dividend, and the next morning you wake up with $97 of stock and $3 of cash. Exactly $100, not a cent more. That stock drops by almost precisely what it just paid you, to the penny, on one specific morning, and there is a hidden reason nobody bothers to explain. By the end of this, you will see that hidden mechanism clearly, and you will never be fooled by a big yield number again. Here is what almost everyone believes, and it is the belief that costs them. You buy shares of a great company, therefore it pays you a slice of profit every few months, like interest landing in your account, for simply owning something wonderful. It feels like the business reached into its own pocket and rewarded you for being a loyal owner, so more yield must always mean more money. But that feeling is the most expensive illusion in investing, and the numbers are about to show you exactly why. Start with what a dividend actually is. A company sits on a pile of cash it earned. Therefore, the board votes to take a chunk of that cash and mail it out to shareholders. But here is the part they never draw for you. The instant that cash leaves the company is worth exactly that much less. Picture the company as a glass filled to the brim. The water is everything it owns, its cash, its buildings, its profits, and your share is a claim on that water. A dividend does not pour new water into your glass. It spoons water out of the company glass and into your cup. Therefore, the level in the big glass drops by exactly what landed in your cup. That drop even has a name the professionals use quietly. It is the ex-dividend price adjustment, and it happens on a single, specific morning. On the ex-dividend date, before the market even opens, the exchange marks the price down by the dividend amount, automatically, mechanically, every single time. So, on your $100 share paying $3, the stock opens near 97. Therefore, the $3 in your account is not a gain, it is your own glass poured into your cup. Read that again because it flips everything. The company did not pay you. You paid yourself with money that was already yours, and your total pile never grew by a single cent. Now, if that were the whole story, a dividend would just be harmless, a wash, money sliding from one pocket to another. But it gets sharper than that, and this next part is where real money leaks. Because in a normal taxable brokerage account, the government treats that returned cash as income, therefore it taxes you on it. Say you hold $100,000 of stocks yielding 3%. That throws off $3,000 a year in dividends. At a 15% dividend tax rate, that is roughly $450 skimmed away every single year on money that was already yours. You did not sell anything, you did not choose to take profit, but the payout was forced into your account. Therefore, the tax bill was forced on you right along with it. And here's the trap that snaps shut on beginners. A big seductive yield number looks like a fatter paycheck. But a company can only hand you your own water for so long. Some businesses chasing a high headline yield borrow money or shrink themselves just to keep the checks going out. Therefore, the very shares you are holding quietly erode, while the yield stays fat and tempting on the screen. Chasing yield can shrink your wealth while it feels like income. So, how do you see through all of it? With two words that serious investors live by: total return. Total return is simple. It is the change in the stock price plus the dividends you received, added together as one honest number. Look at the world through total return, and the dividend stops being magic. It becomes a neutral choice about where your money sits, inside the stock or as cash in your hand. A 10% yield attached to a stock quietly falling 12% is not income. It is a loss wearing a paycheck costume, and total return rips that mask right off. But this is not a reason to hate dividends. It is a reason to be precise about them, and precision is exactly where you win. Watch what happens when you move the very same dividend into a tax-sheltered account, like a Roth. Inside that shelter, the $3,000 pays no tax, therefore every cent gets reinvested, buying more shares, which pay more dividends, which buy still more shares. That is compounding running point, with no annual leak. The same dividend that bled $450 in a taxable account now grows completely untouched. This is why so many long-term investors flip on automatic reinvestment, a drip, and let decades do the heavy lifting quietly in the background. Therefore, the dividend was never good or bad on its own. What mattered was the container you put it in and whether the underlying business was actually healthy. One more thing that trips people up. The yield you see is just the annual dividend divided by today's price. Therefore, it shifts every time the price moves. When a stock crashes, its yield suddenly spikes, and that giant yield is often a warning light, not a gift. The falling price is doing the math for you. So, come back to the glass. A healthy company refills its own water faster than it ever pours out. Therefore, over years, both the glass and your cup can rise together. That is the whole game, not the size of the pour, but whether the company keeps refilling and whether you are letting tax quietly evaporate your water. And that mystery from the very start, why a stock drops by the exact dividend the next morning? Now you know. It is not the market punishing you for getting paid. It is simply your own money being handed back, marked down to the penny, because that value never appeared from nowhere. It was always sitting inside your shares. So here's what changes for you today. You stop chasing the biggest yield, and you start reading total return. You stop feeling paid, and you start asking one question that cuts straight through every dividend pitch you will ever hear. Is this company refilling its glass? And am I holding it in the account that lets my water grow without leaking to tax? Answer that, and a dividend goes from a quiet trick played on you to a tool you fully control. So do this now. Pull up one dividend stock you own or want. Find its total return over the last 5 years, not just its yield, and watch the real story the yield was hiding.